right. Welcome, everybody. So I have a little remnant today with my from Halloween with my Superman cape, because I was Superman this year, and it's the last year. Retired Superman. I kept the cape, retired the costume. It was too old. I'd used it too many times. But if you're trying to be a super hero to your organization, thank you for joining us here at the SuperUser Academy. We're in motion for sure to get you certified, qualified, employed, overemployed, wealthy, like whatever you want to get out of this class. So, one of the things we decided was, hey man, these live sessions are good, but they're not like really focused and intended. And that's right. So when you join us on the live sessions, you have the ability to ask questions, interact. If you're a student of the SuperUser Academy, we just ran a special. We had amazing response for some people that have been around a little while. We did a promotion to test some of our marketing at Salesforce certification.deals. You can get an offer. It's extended through today because I haven't taken down the landing page. Those of you that got the email, if you haven't taken advantage of it yet, it's still available. And while we're here, we're going to communicate with those people who haven't taken advantage of it, haven't become a student at a ridiculously low price, because I don't want your money. I want you to get certified, because the world needs certified consultants to support small business, all business really, but I'm really passionate about the small and mid-sized market because I am a small business and small business is where it's at. Let's see who joined us. Got a couple of us. D. Wayne's here. Awesome. Welcome. So we're just kind of letting people know, hey, D. Wayne, how are we doing? So welcome to the session. You're live on YouTube right now, so be careful. But we're talking a little bit. So I just did a promotion to our list of folks that got in our database somehow for a variety of reasons. And, getting certified is important, but you also should get experience, and you should have, really, if you want to be an ace, I've got a program I'm putting together. I'm going to call it the Top Gun Ace Consultant Program, where you get accredited, certified, and experience. So if you join the SuperUser Academy as a student, if you do well as a student, then I'll bring you in, and it's called the 5-star program because I'll support you to get 5 certifications, but not just certifications, but accreditation through the partner learning camp that because I'm a partner at Salesforce, help you become a partner, which will help you learn how to become a partner and get experience along the way. So we'll put you to work for our clients. And so that's coming to pass. Matter of fact, I have a couple of clients I need help with right now. So anyway, so welcome, Dwayne. How you doing? Anyways, that's what we're gonna be covering today. So I got a couple of things I want to talk about. Of course, if you have any questions, it's live Q&A. We take these live sessions and then we break them down and put them in our training platform to make our training more focused and directed. And we're going through a revamp of the training. So right now, the training for admin courses on sale, dirt cheap. And it ended kind of yesterday, but I'm kind of leaving it open for anybody on the live call. And then after this call, I'm going to take it down and raise the price. Probably not a lot, but a little. And there's also, if you haven't gotten your platform app builder and you want to dig in and do that class, we're going to re-record it, but we have a recorded version. We're going to do a live platform app builder class in the next couple of weeks. That's at a ridiculously low price. And if you've already got your admin certification, then go ahead but you haven't got your platform app builder, pay the $19 for the admin course, and then you'll get an offer for coaching, and then you'll get an offer for, if you decline it, there'll be a little thing, marketing stuff. You could, if you decline the coaching offer, feel bad if you do, but if you don't, it's fine. Jump in, just decline the coaching offer if you don't want to do that. And then you'll have the option to buy the platform app builder class for $99. $99 to spend a week with me live, get all your questions and have a recording of the session. And that'll be the new recording that we use for the class. So if you don't do that, you just want to study on your own and struggle. That's all good too. So, hey, Dwayne, so that's it. That's the announcement part of what we're doing. How are you doing today? How is Dwayne? You and I have a history together. We spent some time doing some stuff, just like Patrick. Welcome, Patrick, without putting your camera on. Patrick's our secret agent consultant, because he never puts his camera on publicly, which I love. It's fine. So Dwayne, what's your status now? What's your certification?
Yeah, so I have my platform app builder, working towards the developer, and I'll take the admin test again soon. So that's where I'm at.
Oh, cool. So have you taken my you've taken my practice admin? I gotta update it with some more questions. But you've taken my practice test, right? It's 104 something questions.
I know I haven't taken one that long before. I didn't seem like I've taken one, but it seemed like it was very short, maybe 20 questions or something.
20, 30. Well, so Salesforce provides, I've got one that Salesforce provides for 30 questions, which you can do that one too. I've curated into a Google form more questions than the typical practice test you get from Salesforce, and to give you a broader range, really just not to, so you study the answers, right? But just see where you need to help and what in areas. And in that document, in that form, I've got two versions of it. One that has video answers, video explanations that go with each question, and then one that doesn't. So one just gives you, one's a marketing tool, one's a product that I sell. So I sell the product version of it, and I'm not selling it very well yet, just so you know. It's for sale. I'm selling it. I haven't sold it, but I'm going to sell it. But if I'll happy to give you that, Dwayne, in your prep for your admin, because you really need that admin prep. I mean, what areas are you struggling with for the admin? Did you remember on your test results? If you can look up in your email, see what.
It's been a while since I've taken it, so I couldn't tell you from memory right now.
Well, usually it's security. The security model gets a lot of people.
Right.
That's always a tough one, because they ask really weird questions that don't always make sense. Always, because I struggle with it too. Because security model is a little complex. But anyway, you come from a developer background, right? Weren't you a developer first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you started working yet, or no? Like,
yeah, I have a job as a developer.
As a Salesforce, and you're doing Apex and all that kind of stuff now, or no?
Well, not quite yet, but I do have a job as a Salesforce developer.
So you're using, what kind of tools are you using? If you're not using Apex and Visualforce, you're using things like, well, you're using Flow then, right, to build all your development?
It's just a matter, I hadn't gotten into using it yet, but it'll be coming, because I kind of just got started, working on a project.
So what kind of things are you doing on the project?
Right now, it's more admin stuff right now.
So you're getting familiar with the platform.
Oh yeah.
So they hired you as a developer, but that's interesting. Are you working for a consultant, or are you working for a company that owns
consulting?
So you're working for a consulting practice,
right?
They're kind of getting you. Are they a partner of Salesforce, or are they just a different?
Yeah, and I wouldn't be able to get into many details, but yeah.
Yeah, fine. That's all good. Well, good. So you, as working for a partner, you could take advantage of the partner learning camp. Are you working on any accreditations?
You
Do you
mean
know about that?
I'm familiar with the partner learning camp, but I hadn't taken advantage of that yet
Okay. It's one of the secret
because I'm still trying to
benefits.
understand what it is exactly. I'm not quite sure, other than I guess is additional training.
Partner Learning Camp is Salesforce's additional training resources for partners.
Okay.
Partners that work with Salesforce customers, Salesforce provides a little different kind of training, goes a little more in depth. It goes a little more, well, I'm gonna pull, let me pull it up. See if I can log into it, because that's, there are benefits to becoming a partner, and I'm not even up to date on all of them yet. Let me just see if I can log into my partner. I haven't logged in a couple of weeks. As I've been studying, I just got my BA cert, which I think, by the way, I kind of had an attitude about it when it first started up, like, BA, schma. But as I said, you know what, I'm just going to get it. There's a lot of admin. Like, I think the BA is, I learned so much more about what BAs do and how they do it. I mean, I've been exposed to it. I mean, I've watched BAs do their work. I've seen them do. Some BAs are amazing. Some are just like, anybody else. They suck. But I learned a lot. I learned a lot about the tools. I learned like how to generate and use a tool. Like, that study was, I'm gonna, like, that's one of the next classes, and I've actually changed my mind about the top 5 certs that you need. And I think BA is one of them, especially if you're going to be an interactive admin. So I'm trying to pull up there we go. Let's see. All right, partner community. So let me share my screen. Hey, Patrick, have you joined as a partner yet? Have you set up your partner account? Oh, you're still online.
I signed up, but I'm still waiting for the response.
Yeah, it takes a while. You have to apply to be a partner. You have to be qualified to be a partner. So you have to have a certain number of certs. Platform app builder is one of them. Admin, of course. Or a number. You have to personally have a certain number.
Neither of those count.
Oh, they don't?
No, you need, I mean, the 2
Consultant.
most common ones that would count would be service and sales cloud consultant,
Oh, right.
but you need one of those, the process automation accreditation through the partner learning camp. So you would need to be a partner to get that one. But you need probably the 2, for most people, the 2 you need are going to be the sales and service cloud to qualify.
Yeah, so accredited professional credentials, right? So this is why SuperUser Academy is starting with a little preview and live. We're going to build out the 5-star ACE consultant program, and that is the making sure you get not only the 5 certs that I think are important, which is admin, platform app builder, sales cloud, service cloud, and BA, because you really need some experience before you get the advanced admin. And I used to think advanced would be the 5th, but BA is really the 5th because it really does bring it together. Let's see if I need to I got to log into Partner Learning Camp because I didn't go directly in. Let me just see about this. Let me just duplicate that tab, and then I'll go start learning. It opened it up anyway. Okay, good. Just checking it out. So part of Salesforce loves logins. Like, I know the trend is going with Trailblazer ID, and hopefully that solves some of the problems of all the hundreds of thousands of logins you need to do anything in Salesforce for anybody, especially you're a consultant. Anyway, Dwayne, congratulations, by the way, on getting a job and doing that work. And I hope that if I can support you in getting getting that cert. What is this now? It's not going to remember my login. Login with continue. Who'd have thought logging in would be so hard for so many things? But the accreditation is powerful. And that was one of the, I want to, from our students, we will pick, like Patrick has joined our partnership, and he's gotten more certifications. He's gotten a lot of experience. And he's gotten. Did you get any accreditations yet, Patrick, by any chance?
Yeah,
I don't think
I have the process automation one.
Gotcha. You also get to be a part of the partner community, whether you work for a partner or you become a partner. Either one, it's a different community. It's a different level of engagement. And let's see if I can actually I think that one can close. All right. And I don't know why Zoom just eats up my internet bandwidth, and my speeds, PLC issue. All right. Salesforce Days is back. Yeah. Oh, look at that. So you can find sessions. I'm gonna open that in a new tab, see how that works. Yeah, I love that. Hey, we updated our stuff. So just by being here, you agree to it. Like, all right, thanks. All right, dismiss all, close that. Yeah, so I completed a few courses. I got a lot of incomplete courses, but I'm working on other stuff. You can also get demo orgs. There's a lot of demo orgs you can get. I'm not sure what Fuel is anymore. But let's look at, I think this partner community one is going to actually talk more about accreditations, but it's just another level of certainty you can give your clients or future employers or your employer that you know what you're doing. Ultimately, you got to know what you're doing. So if you're struggling, usually it's not always the technology, but rather it's the customers of Salesforce, correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, probably cause more problems than the technology does. Is that a fair estimate? Is that a fair assessment? That the people who buy Salesforce, who give them money, who make decisions at the company that is using Salesforce, cause more problems than the technology that you're struggling with in Salesforce, which is one of the topics I was going to talk about today. I was going to just go over a couple of tools about how to analyze your org as part of your job as an admin or a developer or an architect, whatever you're doing. If you have an influential role, you also have to, find out what's messed up. Hey, Patrick, is that other company the one you had problems with when you were working for them? How many system admins did they have in the number of users?
Originally just one.
Well,
Well,
they
I
did
mean,
with the profiles.
The profiles, there were more, but there was only one admin, me.
Oh, good. So you're the only one that had the keys.
Well, there were more admins, but if you looked at the profile, there were quite a
That's
few.
what I mean. No, that's what I mean. How many people had the profile of an admin? Whether they had the knowledge, how many had the profile?
Oh, I've been in orgs where there were like 10 users that had admin.
I've been in an org with only 10 users and 9 of them were admins. And one of the profiles was Richard. Swear to God. A Richard profile. Okay. So what does that tell you? It had a role.
I'll refrain from making the joke that I would make because you're streaming.
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is there's, a lot of people do a lot of, Salesforce gets a bad rap for sucking, right? Salesforce sucks. It's expensive. It sucks. Yeah, it's expensive, it works. People could say the same thing about Ferraris. Hang on one second. There you go. Illuminator. My dog Louie is visiting me down here in my office. Here's Louie. Say hello, Louie. Look at the camera, Louie. Don't look at me. Look at the camera. Hello, everybody. I'm Louie. I'm 8 months old and I'm a maniac. All right. But he sleeps a lot, which is good. So, 9 out of 10 profiles were system admins, and one was named Richard. I don't know how you make these things up. Like, I wish it was a joke, you know? I actually believe and would love to see Salesforce change the system admin, the standard profiles from system admin to create a BA, a platform, you know, an automation admin and a user admin, so that one, you know, and then limit and then prevent people from actually getting the system admin profile without at least a certification, you know, like just, yeah, you can't do that stuff. We're going to leave it the way it is. You can only do so much until you know, get certified. Like when they tie certifications into the profiles and the actual user, that'd be a great day for Salesforce. What do you think? I don't think they'll ever do it, but I think it'd be a good idea. So here, so you're not going to talk, okay? What, Louis? I'm on a call. Yeah, hop down. Thank you. Good boy. No, bad. Oh, bad. Yeah, good boy. All right. So the accredited professional credential is for partners and people that work for partners. And it's exclusive to partners and their associates. So it deepens your product or your industry knowledge. You get competence. You get recognition from other accredited people. The exams are proctored, so they're real. Let's see, professional and navigator. There were 9. And there was definitely one of those, Patrick. I just saw your text. Yeah, you're right. So there you go. So there's a bunch of things to do, and we posted a link to a great blog at Sales and Technology, how to become a Salesforce partner, why and how, and all of the details about it. But look, if you're new to your journey, I'm just glad to see my website's working now, which is great because I had a little bit of trouble. So there's a lot of opportunity in the Salesforce ecosystem because there's a lot of I'm not going to call it stupidity. I'm going to call it ignorance. There's a lot of things that just people don't know because there's so much to know, right? So there's a lot of ignorance out there, and building a good team of people who are informed about all the parts that you can't be informed about is a great way to go. So does anybody have any questions? There weren't any there weren't any questions submitted. I almost didn't take on I almost didn't do this, but you know, last minute, I said I should probably just those that are going to be here. Do you have any questions? I think we lost. Oh, Martin's here. Welcome. Oh, my note taker popped up. Look at that. So I see Martin. Welcome. and Patrick and Dwayne are here. Any questions that you have? Let's see if I have some that I can look at. The which one after admin? We were talking about certifications earlier. I think the best one after admin is platform app builder. They're so closely related right now. The tests are that, and the trainings that Salesforce provides are, and really, that's another thing I've said my opinion on to the team. I'm like, why do we spend time on flows in the admin class? Spend time on flows in the platform app builder. But we spend a lot of time on flows in the ADX 201 class now. And I'm like, I don't think we should. What do you think? I mean, I don't think new admins, if you're admin only and I was your company hiring you and directing you, I wouldn't want you to do a bunch of flows. There's a bunch of other stuff I'd want you to do first. Just like Dwayne was talking about his job, he's a developer. He got hired as a developer, but he's doing a bunch of admin stuff. I think admin just helps you understand how people work with the data. And a BA definitely bridges the gap between those two. So if you had those three, admin, BA, and platform app builder, I would say you're now an admin. Like you're now what an admin used to be 10 years ago. You know, because now the platform's gotten post Lightning, pre-Lightning admin, you could just be an admin. Post Lightning admin, you got to have all three to be an admin. That's my position. Right, Louis? Hey, Martin, welcome to the call.
I have a question if no one else does.
Go right ahead. Because you always ask hard questions, Patrick. That's what I appreciate about it.
If you had users who were requesting to be able to change the owner of cases, or in other words, transfer cases.
Yeah.
Namely from a queue to an individual user, but not themselves. So maybe themselves. There's a case, it's owned by a queue. A user wants to transfer that case to themselves or another user. What are the requirements and what do you need to do to make that possible?
What do you mean? What are the requirements to do that? That's just you change owner of the case. You got to be a member of the queue first, right? You have to be an owner to transfer ownership, right? So you have to be an owner to transfer ownership. And if you're not the owner, then you have to be above the owner in the role hierarchy. That's ownership.
What about transferring multiple cases from the queue?
You would need a flow to do multiple cases.
Are you sure?
There's not, well, you know what? My answer to everything is, I don't know, let's try it. So
that's what I was trying to get you to do.
Yeah, I don't know, let's try it. All right, stop, Louis, bed, off. Good boy, down, that's good boy, down, okay. All right, let me do that. So I got to open up, let's go to Trailhead. Let me fire up an org. So what you're saying, you want to see it, right? Or you want to know what's involved in it. I know you know how to do this.
Yes.
I know you know how to do this, right? So what was the challenge you faced with it? Did you face a challenge with it, or are you facing a challenge of explaining it to them?
I have looked at this, but I have not yet attempted it.
So it's okay. Well, let's just demystify it, because it's not a hard. I think off the top of my head, the requirements are that they have to be a member of the queue. They probably have to have certain profile access, that they're able to read, right, cases, be a member of the queue, edit cases, because they're going to be able to read and edit. permissions on their for the user, and as long as they're a member of the queue and they want to transfer ownership, they can do it. Now, when you say multiple, why multiple? Why multiple cases at a time? That sounds like a really interesting bad idea.
Well, that's not the bad idea. The bad idea is how the queues and cases are being managed in the first place. So this is only a reflection of a previous bad idea.
Right. So yeah. So I think yeah. Go ahead.
Well, that's already in place. So there's no. If it's possible, we'll do it. So we're just going to do it. From my research, it appears possible, but there are some things there that I think are useful to demonstrate and show if you can.
Yeah. So let's see how this org is. This org's got, we gotta look how it's set up, right? But I think what the question you're asking is, this is the wrong browser. Nope, I don't want to log in, but I want you away. And get rid of that little side panel thing from Apollo. I don't need it right now. The best thing I did was have somebody recently try to steal my credit card. And so I canceled the credit card. American Express found it really quick. And they said, oh, we're going to send you a new card. And no, I don't want it. We're going to send you a new card, but we'll leave all your subscriptions alone. I'm like, no. Make them sign up with the new card, because they'll do that, right? Okay, so I'm I'm saving money by somebody trying to steal from me. It was great. All right. So a couple of things we got to look at first. Let's just look at the cases. So the way I'm not looking at the service console. I don't need to, but let's see if we have any cases in here. I don't have any open cases. So we just look at, we have one closed case. Do we have any cases? There's that one. I don't even know if it's a real case. We have to create some cases. Its status was new. So it's open. Why didn't it show me my open cases on the list? Let me check my filter. My filter might not be right. Close is false. All cases. So we got that one. So we got one open case. So it's just as simple as, let's just create a new case. Let's actually, I'll make it simpler. So the standard functionality, let me just clone this. And then I will should create a duplicate challenge, clone it again, pick a different client now. Jackson Controls, Data Communications, James Brown. Just do that. So now when we look, we got a couple of different cases. And we'll look at all open cases. So now we got these 3 open cases, right? So you said, I want to change owners. Boom, change owner, multiple cases, search a user. You could send them a notification or not. That's easy enough to do.
You're an admin.
All right, we'll log in. Let's see what we got as users. Let's just check out what we got as in the users. So let's just see if we have any queues set up.
I'm not looking to become the case manager, so being the admin is not the appropriate access level.
Right. I get you, but we need to have something first, right? To demonstrate, right? So this is the typical I'm going to take these guys, throw them in there. So now we have a queue, and I can now log in as one of those users, right? Who's in the queue. Let me go change my cases. Now that I have a queue, I'm going to refresh that. And now I can, let's say we had, so cases, you got to decide what's the assignment rule going to be, how, you know, all those kind of things, right? So you set up all that. I'm assuming that that's set up. So I have a queue. That now owns the cases. Is that the condition that you're trying to replicate here? Like, how do I?
Yes.
So we got a bunch of cases in a queue. Actually, now we could just do the tier 1 queue. So the cases are owned by tier 1. Now let's log in as one of those tier 1. Can I not log in as my users? Damn it. All right, now I got to remember where it is. Login policies.
Might be under security if it's not there.
Yeah, administrators can log in as any user. Let's do that. Sometimes I forget where some of this stuff is. I know it's there, but you still forget. If you don't use it, you forget. Probably got to refresh. So standard functionality, and then I'll ask you more about the non-standard functionality, right? So I'm going to be, let's see if I've got the right, let me just check before I log in as Eric. What is he? Minimum access. That's a force.com one. So that's the min access profile. Let me just check the profile real quick. I got my old settings on there. Don't think this profile has a lot of access to the objects. That's why it's called min access. Yeah, so right now, this person can't even see that. Let's see if we have any permission sets. La, 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 la. Service Cloud user. Let's see what that is real quick.
Yeah, that's not gonna do anything for you.
No. So we've got to give.
Probably just have a support profile or a sales profile. Just change the user's profile.
That. Let's see if I have that. I don't know if I do or not. Let's see. Yeah, I do. Okay, so I'm gonna swap one of my users for that because I only have 2 licenses. Settle down, buddy. Man, off. All right, so what would be a typical role? Customer support North America. All right, ejac. Oh, damn, bad. Good, damn. Good boy. All right, now I think let's just see what Eric Jackson can do. What can Jackson do? All right. Eric's not a lightning user either. All right, here we go. It works in classic. So the basic fundamentals, right? So let's go to all tier 1. All right, you can see the cases. So he could take the cases and accept them themselves, or click change owner and choose who they're going to go to. And it'll go to all of them, right? So you can put it back to me as the user and do that, right? So those cases have been changed. So that's
Does
the
that work in
functionality.
Lightning?
Yeah, it works in Lightning, sure.
Is there a setting in the profile that allows that?
What do you mean?
You changed Eric to the support profile, custom profile. Is there a setting in the custom profile that allowed Eric to change the owner of multiple cases?
The setting is that he's a member of the queue, so he has ownership rights to the records that are in the queue. When he changes the owner, he can change it to any owner that has access to the case object. So he changed it to me because I'm the only other user now, right? Now, if he tries to change owner now, he's going to get insufficient privileges because he's no longer an owner of those records. I think he'll get insufficient privileges. Well, maybe not. Maybe, because maybe we have a public read write transfer, and that we got to look at the OWD for what the OWD is, right? So under sharing settings, so what model are you? So again, everything's based on the security model. Oh, I gotta log back in. Are you kidding me? Launch this again. Oh, Salesforce. So there's a lot of things that could, right, don't work as expected, just right out of the box, so to speak. But we can go take a look at all that other stuff. There's other variables that are required. So obviously we need to look at the profile. We need to look at the OWD. Why Eric didn't have Lightning. He doesn't have Lightning on his profile. We look at the OWD. I'm sure that because Eric wasn't the owner, I was the owner. That can only mean a public profile. It cannot be private then, I would imagine. Let's see what it is. Public read only. Let's see our roles. Why would those records, why would they allow Eric to change the owner? Eric's at support, North American support. I don't know where I'm at. Well, I was gonna look at some tools that we could use. I haven't used some of these tools before. Zoom Info's got Field Trip. There's this thing called Octopus. There's Salesforce Optimizer. So let me look in. I'm the role CEO. How did Eric change the owner? First, I want to edit his profile. You said Lightning, right? You said I want to see it in Lightning. Lightning Experience user. He's a Lightning Console user.
So a couple questions. What objects or records in Salesforce have transfer? What can you grant transfer permission to in Salesforce?
What can I grant transfer permission to? Is anybody that has edit access on an object that owns the object can transfer that ownership because they're editing the record and they own it, they can transfer. Right? I'm going to leave that one. Louis, stop. And that means and the only, it's in the sharing settings. Let me just finish this, but in sharing settings, why does this have, anyway. So does that answer your question? So if I own the record, I can edit it, I can change ownership. If the OW, and I can do that with any record, if it's public read write in the sharing settings, I think. Oh, I don't think you could change ownership, but in my case sharing settings, cases are public read only. The only places you have control of transfer is with cases and leads. That's
There
the
you
transfer.
go. That's what I've been trying to get out of you for 15 minutes now.
Well, no. It's only on cases and leads. So if the OW, so you asked, anyway, right. So all based on owners who owns the record. What I don't understand is why Eric was allowed in a public read only setting, why he was allowed to transfer that ownership, because that didn't seem right. I don't know why that happened. So I'm going to make it private instead. No, I'm going to make it public read only. I'll leave it public read only. But yes, so those are the only two records in Salesforce that have a transfer permission, or if you will, it's not really a permission. It's a transfer restriction on cases and leads. Those are the only two that have read write transfer in the settings. I don't think any other ones do. Nope, they're the only two. So
do you have any additional sharing rules set up?
I don't think so. Let's just check. But a sharing rule would not let you, no sharing rules. And then the role hierarchy, right? So there's three ways to override the OWD, the three R's: the role, the rules, and the record itself. So from the record itself, you can manually share a record, or you can, if it's a team, account, opportunity, or case, you can add team members. But it's only for the account, opportunity, or case you can add teams. Otherwise, you manually share the record individually to a user, a group, a role, or role subordinate. But you can also, you can share it with a public group. That's record access, individual record access. See, I got another chat. Hold on a second. So to your scenario, help Salesforce article data about transfer HTML. So in your scenario, let's go back to what happened. I'm just checking my cases now. So my cases, I don't think anything's in tier one. I think they're all owned by, they're back to tier one. Hey, stop. Right? Stop. Bad. Bad. Yeah. Okay. So they're owned by the queue. So anybody with access to the queue has access to the cases. Hold on, I got my session settings. I want to fix that. So I don't have to log in. After I log, I don't want to be forced to log in. I don't want to do that. Yeah. Good boy. All right. So now we should be able to. So is that the question you're digging for? Because let's see if we have the scenario set up correctly. So we've got a user we've got a queue. In that tier 1 queue, we've got Dominic, Eric, and Anuj. I don't know if Anuj could actually take it because I don't know if she's got the permission. Nice talking to you, Dwayne. Congratulations on getting a job.
Profile.
Get some partner accreditations. What's that?
That user's on force.com.
Yeah, so it won't work there. So Eric is the only one that's going to actually be able to do it. That's fine. So Eric, I took away the delete capability just out of his profile. But when it comes to, all right, so now I'm going to log in as Eric. See if he's on Lightning. If he's not, I'm going to switch to the console because I know he's on. Well, I think I changed it to Lightning. So there he is. Okay. So now we're logged in as Eric. Looking at cases. They're owned by the queue. The OWD is set to public read only. But Eric's an owner of this record because he's part of the queue, because he has the queue list view. He's an owner of all these records because he's in the queue. He's the owner. There's the case owner alias. He's an owner. So if he wants to take ownership of a case, he can just simply accept the case. And now Eric becomes the case owner. As the owner, he can change the owner to any user that has access, because I don't think, what's the other? I think Anuj is going to say no. Yeah, they need read permission on the related object, right? So she can't do it, which is fine, because so that's the first. So you can't change it to somebody without access to the record, right? They have to have access to the record. Once Dominic's the owner, what I don't understand that's happening right now is, oh, Eric is still, can Eric change ownership of this? And if he can, why did that just happen? That's what I don't know. So let's look at the sharing on this record, see what's going on with the sharing. He's got, let's go back to the record. Change ownership back to Dominic. Now, Eric no longer has, he doesn't have ownership of the record. So I think I ought to make it private just so we could see it. But now he can't see the sharing settings. He can't see the share of it, right? What I don't know is why Eric, so I'm going to log out as Eric real quick. And in my open cases, and check out the sharing. All right. So in that case, let's check out the sharing hierarchy. So Dominic's the only one with access to this, with full access to the record. So this is why I've got read write as part of account sharing. Oh, maybe that's, let's see who the account owner is. Jackson controls. I own the account. So I'm above Eric in the role hierarchy. I own the account. So there's no like account to child ownership. What I don't understand is why Eric can change ownership. Oh, maybe contact accounts.
So according to that third
Oh,
item,
transfer multiple. So okay. So his profile's got. Let's just do
does the
that.
profile have view all mod file?
No, but it's got, let's see what the transfer record, he's got transfer cases. That's why you could do it. He's got the transfer cases permission. And there come help articles show up, right? You sent me that help article. So it tells you the permissions to transfer multiple cases. You need transfer cases or transfer record and edit on cases and read and transfer record on related account. Read and transfer record on related accounts. Read and transfer record on related accounts. What was our sharing settings? Read and transfer counts as public read only. I don't understand what that read and transfer record on related accounts means. So we have Eric has transfer cases. What's read and transfer record on related accounts mean?
If you go to the object setting in the profile and go to accounts, let's look there.
Yeah, I want to. It's got to be. It may say it in here. At least read permission on the control doesn't allow mass transfer to. The territory manager isn't enabled to transfer ownership of any single record using edit version.
Okay, so that's a sharing rule. So there needs to be a sharing rule to give those permissions, that last line in that section.
So the user must either own the record or be above the owner role hierarchy. In addition, when a case is related to an account, a user must have read and transfer record permissions on the account. That's what I don't understand what that said. The public full access and public read write transfer sharing setting gives users with the appropriate edit permissions the ability to transfer ownership of that type of record.
Well, it sounds like they need edit access on the account and to be above.
Right, but he doesn't have, this is what I don't, I don't understand I don't know where the setting is for read and transfer record permissions on the account. I don't know what controls that. meaning, what are the settings that means?
Yeah, so
So
there's a permission in the profile for the object.
So he's got read, right? But let's see what comes up for account. Page layouts. That's it. It's that, and the word, here's what I'm getting stuck on. And transfer record permissions. And when I look at the profile and I look for transfer, he doesn't have transfer record permission. He's got transfer cases permission.
Can you go to the top of the screen?
Here.
Is this because is this the old version of profiles or is this the enhanced version?
The old. I could change it, but it's good either way. So that's what I'm curious about. So, all right. I understand what it's saying. We don't have a rule, I don't think, that does it. There's no sharing rule on it. Let's just go test it again. So when it says that, Eric does not own the record and is not above me in the role hierarchy. He's the North American. I'm the CEO. So I own the record. Johnson controls. Let's see if he's got team. Hold on. Let's see if he's on the team. That might be part of it too. I don't know. I don't think I have teams on here. Okay, good. So I don't have teams activated, which is fine. But on that case, let's go back to my cases. Let's just log in as Eric now and see if he can change the ownership of my record. This is a good puzzle because I got an unexpected behavior. So the case 1026 is owned by me. I'm Dominic's the owner. Dominic is definitely not below him. Oh, we got users open up. Dominic's in the CEO role. He's customer support. There's no doubt that customer support is right there, North American support, right? So now, as Eric, looking at that case, I'm Eric now looking at that case, what's my hypothesis is he should not be able to transfer this record. What do you think?
Well, my experience is that my users can transfer the cases individually, but we're not able to change multiple at the same time, which could be related to multiple different record types in the list view or multiple different owners. in
Well,
maybe,
if there are multiple record types in a list view, you're definitely not going to be able to edit records in a list view if they're different. That's a factor. Is that the challenge you're actually facing right now? Is that they can or can't change?
they are able to change individual cases, but not multiple.
Let's see. Right now, I don't know how come I get to take ownership of the record.
But now I'm thinking that it might be because of the related accounts, if they don't have edit access on those accounts.
If they don't have edit access on the account, well, what is our sharing settings again? Our sharing on account is public read only. So Eric doesn't own the account. He can see the account, but he can't edit it. What is, let's make sure, let's just make sure he doesn't have any permission set that's throwing a wrench in the monkey wrench. He's got no permission. Wait, he's got sales processing. Let's see what's in there. Why is he able to see all this stuff? He might have some Uber permission we don't know about. Sales contract, sales orders. Yeah, I don't think those are anything to do with service, but maybe maybe the dingoes ate your baby. Let's just see what his object settings are for the account. He's got he's got view all on the account. Didn't have transfer record on it. Well, I think the transfer cases permission must allow him. Let's see what that says. Create case. Man's cases, no. So it must be that transfer cases permission is what allows him to do that, specifically because he's got the transfer cases permission.
And the profile I'm looking at does not.
His profile does have it.
No, I mean, the profile in question in the example, not your profile.
Oh, in your org. So that must be why he can transfer cases regardless. Right? That must, I guess, yeah.
If you remove that from the profile, can he still change them?
Oh, I guarantee he can't. Let's just see. That's a good way to test it.
So if that's the case, then what I need is a permission set with transfer cases to apply to the users who should be able to, right?
That would, yeah. So let's what's your OWD that you're talking about? Is it a private OWD?
Everything's private, yes. Access is controlled through sharing rules.
All right. Let's just go to sharing settings and log out as Eric. First, No, I don't have to re-log in. Thought I said no. All right. Thought I set up my sharing settings to do that. Anyway, I think that's the permission, and the way they describe it in the help documents is not all that helpful. Thank you, Salesforce. That's why there's a $6.13 ecosystem for every dollar that Salesforce collects. Because help documentation doesn't really help a lot of people, except people who know how to figure out what the help means. Oh, we wouldn't make any money if their installation on Pardot guide was actually usable. So first and foremost, let's make it all private. Let's just do that. But wait, if we make it private, we have to create a rule that he could see it, right? We're going to create a rule. Do you have what's the rule that you have?
It's going to be based on record type and roles.
But generally speaking, all cases are shared with support, right?
Yeah, the sharing, the OWD is private, but basically everything is made viewable by sharing rules.
That seems dumb. It's a lot of extra work, right?
It is.
Like, hey, let's create a sharing rule. Let's make everything private and then create all these rules to make everything read only. Hey, Martin, thanks. We're gonna
Not the only time I've seen that.
Not the only time. Not the only time. Hashtag why admins drink. Let's create a new rule. And we'll call it share with support based on record owner, roles and subordinates of the CEO, shared with roles and subordinates. All right, so we got that taken care of. Now we can go to the profiles. It's the Italian word for it. And actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to clone this profile. And just take away that permission, because I think that permission does it. And it doesn't, I don't really think that Salesforce is very helpful in that help document about transferring cases. Do you?
No, and in fact, I've also seen another page that says admin only. That only admins are able to transfer multiple cases, which is clearly not true and contradicts their own help.
Well, never underestimate the possible contradictions of help documentation. Because at some level, the responsibility of updating the help document is the guy making the change to the system. But they don't make that responsibility known. Like they should have, like what would be a great thing is to have a direct messaging capability from the help document to the guy who actually developed that feature or the manager thereof, right? So that guy can get pinged by the thousands of people saying, this says this and it doesn't work. And that guy's going to go, oh my God, we should either fix it or update the help document, right? But there's none of that in the world.
No.
None of that. All right. So I think now all we got to do is assign this to dude. And we'll give him the no transfer cases. Then we should be able to log in as Eric. But like, I think what happens is, you know, in the dev life cycle, like this good idea. Like, I think to me, I'm not running your situation, right? But I've got these cases, they're owned by the queue. That means I'm the owner. Fundamentally, the owner of a record can do anything they want as long as they can edit that record. But then, so multiple cases shouldn't matter. If your users can't do this and then hit, oh wait, so now he can no longer transfer. He can only accept them. That's interesting. So he lost the change owner button. You see that? Transfer cases?
Yes.
So that's interesting because that's what the profile does. It controls the buttons, if you will. That's what you want to look at. Now from the case, so that right there may be exactly what they can accept them from the queue. They can accept them, but they cannot change owner. And I'll bet you, I wonder if transfer record and transfer case have a different set of permissions, seeing as they don't tell you, right? Like right here is the either or, but what does transfer record do differently than transfer cases? They don't explain that, but there's clearly some explanation, but let's just follow this through so far. First thing we notice is transfer cases took away the change owner button from the object controls, object actions. Now, when I go into that case, I'm going to change, I can change owner, and I'm going to change it to Dominic. And now Eric should not be able to change owner. Let's just see if he can change himself. You don't have permission to take that access record or related records. Voila. So it's the transfer cases that allows that to happen. We have one more test. You ready for the last test? Called validating Salesforce's documents. Let's give that profile the transfer record permission and see what changes. Right?
Well, transfer records applies to everything.
Well, let's see. I don't.
If you have transfer records, you can transfer any record you can access.
Let's see, because does it say that in the help document? It didn't distinguish. It gives you 3 transfer permissions and nary distinguishes any of them. Like, it doesn't distinguish those permissions, right? Transferring record. Maybe it does in some other help document. That's another thing. When help documents give you critical information in one, but they don't put it anywhere else, but not everywhere else you could use it. Now this one, to transfer multiple accounts, campaigns, contacts, contracts, and custom objects, transfer record, and edit on the object. So I guess, all right, so it says transfer record. Either one of these may work. So let's just see. I wonder if it's going to come back. Outrageous. The change owner came back, so that's fine. So we could do it from here, and that means multiple records would work. Well, actually, let's just see all open cases now. Let's just see. So they're all owned by different people. This is a great example. Let's change it to the tier 1 queue. So that clearly worked. The transfer record works just like, I guess, transfer cases and transfer leads is just a smaller permissions from the transfer records.
Yeah, so if you go to contacts, if you have any contacts in here that aren't owned by Eric, and he has
should be able to
edit
take
access
ownership
to
of.
contacts, he'll be able to change the owner of those.
I think so. Let's see. Nope. Let's see if we can take ownership of them individually. He can't do it in the list view, but he can. That's just a. What? What are you talking about? Mailing and the account ID.
That's some
Is that a
shitty
validation
validation rule.
It is a shitty validation rule for sure. But wait, but it said the mailing address. Oh, and
It's like the mailing and billing zip.
yeah, so we got to find out what that is first. Edit this thing. You kidding me? 66045.
If you notice that the entire address was entered into the street field.
I know what I did.
Oh,
I'll
you
save
did
that
that.
for. I did it.
You did that. I see.
I
Okay.
totally did that. All right, so you totally can do it with the transfer from a. Let's see if we can do it on an account.
Yeah, transfer records is like modify all. If you have edit access and you have transfer records, you can transfer it.
That's what it looks like. Yep. Now, yeah. What it doesn't do, it doesn't give you the change owner. Well, did it? Let's see. I forgot. I already forgot. It's in the recording, but I already forgot. It may or may not give you the change owner option from the list view itself. Right? So if we look at the list view, all open cases. So tier one owns all those. Oh, you do have the change owner. We do have the change owner now here. I don't think change owner lives. It lives on leads. There may just be an that action button. So that change owner's there. We just don't have, I don't think the change owner button is there. No, the change owner button is not on the accounts, contacts, and other objects. Let's look at one of our custom objects. Because I know he's got access to these objects. On custom objects, he's got the change owner, but accounts and contacts not, probably because you got the transfer tool that does accounts. Because there's the transfer tool to mass transfer accounts and contacts, there's no mass transfer for contacts, but there's the, mass transfer you don't do mass transfer of accounts from the front end.
I don't know that that's possible at all.
I don't think it is. I think that's why they have the mass transfer tool built into the setup menu. It's one of the tools built in, right?
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure I would have used it previously because there's so many times where I need to transfer multiple records and I can't do it in the UI. So
you can't do it in the UI. You got to do it in the SUI. So what do we want to test? I think that tests everything. So
did you add the transfer cases to that permission set or to that profile?
I added transfer record.
Yeah, but you
took
away transfer cases
and added transfer record, which allows me to transfer cases. If I have transfer, so now I can change owner, right? I can change the owner of these no matter what. But one last thing. Let's give him back the permission to transfer cases, right? And then see if he can, and that should take away the change owner button from leads and custom objects, because that's what he had a minute ago. He had the change owner button on leads, custom objects, and cases to do it a list view. So my hunch is that transfer leads and transfer cases is just a smaller version of transfer records. That's what it seems like. But that's not going to be in the help documentation.
No.
Right? That's not going to be in help documentation. Clearly. Because they don't explain the difference between that, but I get it now. They used other words. La 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 la. So we take that off. We're left with two other permissions, transfer cases. I'm gonna leave transfer leads off because I think it's pretty, you know what? It's one of those things that if you had to deal with it, if you had to deal with this feature all the time, you would know the difference between all the three of those sets of words, like the guy doing the development. Huh. Oh, that's new. View users on a profile. That's new. Isn't it? Did you see that?
It's not new, but it also doesn't allow you to do the most useful thing, which is remove them.
Well, you can't manage users, but I don't remember view users being there. I mean, it does.
That's always been there. You can add, that's how you get to the add multiple, which just creates new users and new user, but there's no way to add, there's no way to add users to this profile from here without creating
No, you have to edit each user individually.
It's completely asinine.
Well, again, if somebody's already invented a solution for it, why would Salesforce fix it? It costs them money to fix it so that they don't need the feature, or they buy the company that created the solution so then they can take ownership of it, pretend it's theirs, or they leave that person in business because they make a percentage of the money they make from their apps on the app profile, on the app exchange.
Well, now we're all going to have to use permission sets, which also are like visiting Dante's Inferno to manage.
Well, you really should be using permission set groups and mutes, because that's the new wave with that new standard profile of minimum access, right?
Yes, that makes sense. But if they're going to force us to do that, they should also fix it so it doesn't completely suck to edit and update permissions.
Huh? So I got change owner. Let me go to leads. I do not have change owner. Nope, change owner there. Standard objects. And folks, this is how you learn Salesforce. You get an angry admin on the line and you work it out and you learn so much more about Salesforce. But no button.
Can you change an account or a contact? We changed the contact before, right?
Yeah. Oh, I should not be able to change owner. All right. So Dickinson PLC. Oh, I own it, but Eric owns it. Let's change it. Eric can change it because Eric is the owner and has.
But if you change it to you, you should not be able to change it.
Should not be able to change it again. That's right. Yep. Contact your admin. Your admin didn't know what they did when they set it up. Why would you contact your admin? Contact SuperUser Academy. We'll work with your admin and get them straight. Right? Jack wagons. Wagons full of jack. Well, that solved the issue. I just wasn't aware of the transfer permission. That's why I couldn't answer your question intelligently without going through all that hassle. But that hassle is how you learn, and then I'll be able to answer it again the next time. I had no idea there were 3 transfer permissions in this set of permissions that are available. That is a lot of permissions, and what they do and how they do it and why you should use it. That's all challenging stuff. I think it's 2 o'clock because my clock stopped at 2 o'clock. I think the battery's dead. Let me see if I can. Sometimes if you scroll a battery around like that, move your battery around, it'll revive the battery, but not enough. It works in a remote for TVs and micro component systems. How do I know that? My wife purchased a JVC micro component system in 1989. She not only has the receipt, she has the original batteries in the remote from 1989, and she plays that thing all the time. Now, granted, she only uses the remote once or twice a day. That battery's still good from 1989. I challenge any Amazon basic batteries lasting more than 3 months. But, you know, the JVC battery from 1989 is still kicking. I doubt that this is truly an industrial battery by Panasonic, but I'm going to put it in and see how long it lasts. It doesn't even work. Or my clock is completely broken.
Or maybe you have a drawer full of dead batteries.
I could have a drawer full of dead batteries, but you know what I do have? I don't have it here. I do have a battery tester. In the place where we keep all of our batteries, I do have a battery tester. So I can actually test it to see if it is that or not. I know it's dead because it doesn't work, and I don't give a crap. I just don't have any more. I got to go to where the batteries are stored to get it. Look at Louis. Louis like, Mom, I'm just gonna sit here mad. But I'll test it. So that was good. That was good exercise, Patrick. Thank you for bringing up a real question. And the tools I wanted to look at, I don't know if you ever used any of these, but the tools I wanted to look at as part of, data architecture, when you're trying to identify the objects used in Salesforce, what type of record types, there are a couple of tools that I wanted to explore, which were Optimizer, Octopus, Config Workbook, and Field Trip. Now, I went to Config Workbook was free, but it's free to test. So a lot of apps on the App Exchange say they're free, but they're free-ish. They're not really free. They're free-ish. So Config Workbook is not. Field Trip is free, but there's pricing details. Let's take a look at that. It's free. We'll see. So let's see if I can load this into my, have you ever used Field Trip? I've heard a lot about it, but I've never used it.
Is this Field Trip or is this something else? Or did they just recently get purchased by ZoomInfo?
I don't know.
I have used Field Trip. Yes. I thought everybody had.
What do you mean? You thought everybody already had Field Trip automatically?
No, I just thought every admin knew about it.
I've never used it. I've heard about it, but I've never used it. Have you used it?
Yes.
Well, I have not. And I saw Octopus.
I thought you were writing a blog post about useful apps for admins.
Well, I'm forgetful.
I know you're busy, and so it may have lapsed your mind that you were writing a blog post about useful apps for admins. But
that's why I'm bringing it up.
I'm pretty sure you mentioned that to me the last time we talked, that you had a blog post coming out soon called Useful Apps for Admins.
I'm pretty sure I do, but it doesn't mean I remember it.
Because I know you forgot earlier, and I helpfully reminded you of your article about benefits and how to become a Salesforce partner.
But look,
and the sorts of requirements to do it.
Listen, we got that. That's a great blog post. It was posted before this morning, so I don't have any responsibility remembering anything that happened before this morning. Okay. In this matrix, I forget stuff. So
I forget stuff at my job all the time. I mean, things that I did, the same day, maybe even 15 minutes before somebody asked me about it.
I forget.
I completely forgot.
But these are some of those things that that's why I'm testing.
It's almost like someone else did it for me, like I just did it, and yet I get asked about it. I don't remember anything. It's almost like someone else did it for me.
It's like I've got multiple personalities, but it's not a disorder. It is by design. Multiple personality design. It's a much better way to do those things. Let's see. So I don't think I can, this is a Trailer Playground, so I can't install it there. So I got to install it in my Hotmail. So I'm going to launch that dev edition. That doesn't help me at all with what I want to see. So it's going to install it in that one and see how that goes. That's funny, Patrick. That's really funny. And let's see. I'm just doing another window, so I don't have to worry about it right now. But yeah. So I'm studying for the Experience Cloud. my next cert. And then I'm getting certified to teach platform app builder for Salesforce this month as well.
Oh, you already did that.
I started to do it. That's how I met you. But what had happened was when I went to do my certification, oh my goodness. When I went to do my certificate, my first initial meeting with the certifying instructor, and started to do my test teach, he said, "Hey, when did you take the platform app builder class?" I said, "I've never taken the platform app builder class." He says, "Stop right there. You got to take the class. You got to observe the class first. Then you can apply to test teach."
And
then
how
I
is that
said,
anything but pay to play?
"But I don't have to pay for the class."
Oh,
Yeah, so it's pay to play, but I don't have to pay. That's fine, right? I was good with that. All right, let me see something here.
you didn't have to pay the $4,000 to watch the class.
I didn't have to pay $4,000 to watch class. Although that, you know.
So do you want to turn off recording and streaming?
No, not now. Hold on a second. I'm having login issues on another screen. But so now I've got this tool. So I should have. All right, I'm installing Field Trip. It was because I was going through an Edge browser. So the other one is Octopus. Have you ever used Octopus?
No.
Yeah, let's see. So now it should be installing. This is my oldest dev org around. I've done a lot of stuff in this one. I have no idea the condition. What do we have? What are we looking for? We're looking for Field Trip. I'm going to install Octopus. And then Salesforce Optimizer is built. I've never used Salesforce Optimizer, to be honest. Have you ever used it?
I think I've tried and never put much effort into learning how to effectively use it.
Yeah. Be some good content there for the interwebs and our membership. So we ran a test this week, Patrick, a little email campaign for our super users in our database. And 3 people have opted in. And on a small scale test, that was a pretty good rate, expected rate. And I'm also offering that same today for anybody that's watching this today before I change the landing page and raise the prices to Salesforce certification.deals. All right, let's see if I can do this. So we're installing Field Trip. We already have the installation Elements. I think Elements Cloud is great. I just have not used it enough to really. Have you ever used Elements Cloud?
What is it?
It's a tool that allows you to analyze and make changes to an org and analyze an org, make changes and documentation all in one place. I think that's the best way to describe it. It's very complex. I've watched it. I've used it. Oh, and Time Warp's a pretty cool one too. That's a pretty cool little application for Salesforce. Oh, I forgot I had Cloud Coach in here too. Cloud Coach is one of those things that I had a little trouble using at a place, but then I would do things and forget moments after I'd done them. Someone would ask me a question about them. Again, it was one of those things I forgot. Like, I don't know. Can't remember that. So field trip, there it is. So let's see how we get to field trip. Would it be under sales? Does it matter? Is it under here?
Just search, yeah, you should just search for field trip.
There it is. Octopus is complete. We'll check that one out next. They installed the whole app. And then Optimizer, that help went away. And Config Workbook, not interested in those guys. All right, so here's field trip. Loading up. Huh.
That looks different than what I've seen.
Yeah, that is totally different. So where do you find field trip? Salesforce field trip.
Well, that's it, but I've never seen that it requires a remote site. Handing over all your data to Zoom Info, I guess.
Well, it's my crap data, but let's see. As I study Experience Cloud, I'm learning that I really haven't fully grasped all the different nuances to remote sites and all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of new for me too. Today's gonna be a good day for field trip API, disable protocol security, make it active. So would you use a remote site for something like webhooks? If you want to set up a Zap without using Zapier, maybe that's what I'm trying to figure out, how to use Zaps without Zapier. When you do can we push somewhere? You know why I want to do that, right?
Yeah, you need for what you're talking about, you need API callouts.
Yeah, I've got an API enabled. Well, that's an outbound message, right? Even though we don't use workflow rules for that. It's not the same. An HTTP post is not the same as an outbound message.
No.
You understand that stuff?
Sort of.
All right. So that's a free trial. Okay. So what this is advertising. This is because Zoom Info bought it and they bought Ringlead. This is an add-on. And so while it looks like it's free, the field trips are free. I think I've used this before now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't really use it a lot. Trip a name. Enter the API name of the object you want to analyze. So is it one object at a time?
Yes.
What good is this?
Don't do that. That's not going to help you.
What's that?
Do leads, something where you have custom fields. leads, accounts, contacts.
Oh, lead history is not going to do that. I got you. So wait, I got to,
Just
Oh,
leave
yeah,
that blank.
yeah. What happened?
Try just clicking save. Maybe it saved it. I don't know. Maybe shorten your name. No, you don't leave that blank. Clear your name where you entered that. I don't know. Maybe it's broken.
Let's see if I have, oh, you know what? I might not have any records. This is my dev account. I might not have any records. Probably,
That might be why it goes so fast.
right? Well, that sucks. Well, I definitely could have done a better job of picking. So I only have one dev org in my trailhead, and I didn't want to go into my real database. So that's why we didn't do that. So, all right. Well, I guess that's enough for today. What do you think, Patrick?
I think you've given your video editor plenty to do.
Pull out the 3 minutes of good content. And yeah, no doubt. What I do need is a video editor that knows Salesforce. I had a video editor that didn't understand Salesforce, and the edits weren't logical. So, bad.
Well, I know both of those things, but I have no time to edit videos.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I know how to edit videos. I just don't have time to do it either. But hey, that's what we're doing here, though. So look, if you're joining us or you're watching this, thank you very much. If you got a question, submit it to superuseracademy.com/live QA call. I'll put that in the comments, the chat, if you can see it. Maybe we'll edit this thing. Maybe we'll put some stuff in here. I don't know. We might not. We'll see. But that's going to be it for now. Patrick, anything you want to tell anybody? Any announcements? Anything you want the world to know that'll be on recording all the time?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. All right. So I'm going to end the meeting. Thank you, Patrick, for being here. Go Dogs today. And, good. Today's a football day that I can't lose. I'm a Georgia graduate. My wife's from Tennessee. They're playing today. My family, I'm an LSU fan because my family's went to LSU, and they're playing Alabama. And my dad graduated from the University of Alabama he graduated from Mississippi State University, where I was born, but he was in a program at Alabama. And if Nick Saban wins or loses, I don't care either way. I would rather he lose, but we'll see. So it's a good football day when I don't have any bets and anything to lose. It's great. Nothing I can lose. So anyway, you have a nice weekend, Patrick. I'll see you soon. We're probably going to start up. Here's what we're probably going to start up in, if not this year, by the first of the year, which is going to be, we're going to do a live platform app builder class. We're going to do a live version of the platform app builder class coming up in the first quarter of next year, if not sooner, if we get enough students to do it. And going to run a special on that as well. And then during this 6 weeks prior, post that, we're going to start a cadence. I'm thinking it's going to be Tuesdays and Fridays where we'll do live Q&A for any student, but priority is for the students in the platform app builder class. So we'll have that built in. Somebody just join us. Is that my Fathom note? That was my Fathom note taker. It's been popping in and out for some reason. I have no idea why. But we're going to do that, and that will probably be something we promote. Will definitely be something we promote on LinkedIn, and hope we get some traction, and then attract a few more folks, and see how it goes from there. So, cool, man.
Turn the recording off.
Yeah, hang on a second. Let me end the live. So thanks for being here, everybody, at the live, and we'll see you next time. Yes. Hang on, I gotta get my YouTube.